Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to our second part of our day two. So earlier we had our Google Forms navigation, and I really hope that you will be able to create your Google Forms on your own now. So at this point, we now will be discussing Google Sheets. Earlier in our Google Forms, we actually have a slight navigation of Google Sheets because Google Forms and Google Sheets go together with one another. No, um, one um, spreadsheet or Google Sheet is intended and embedded or linked to a certain Google Forms, especially for the responses. And so we already had an early taste of Google Sheets, but I know for sure this will be easy for you, Google Sheets, if you've been using um, if you've been using um, Microsoft Excel as a spreadsheet document, then Google Sheets will really come handy for you. So let me give you a briefer about Google Sheets. So Google Sheets is a spreadsheet program included as part of the free web-based Google Docs Office suite offered by Google within its Google Drive service. So along with Google Docs that we had yesterday and also Google Slides also yesterday, which are both word processor and presentation program respectively, Google Sheets is a spreadsheet program. So it is available in the web as a web application, but it is also available just like docs and slides. No, they're also available in mobile apps for Android, for iOS devices, your iPhones, for Windows phones, and for BlackBerry phones. So they are also available, and it is also available as a desktop application in Google's Chrome OS. So if you have Chromebooks, no, there are web applications for Google Sheets. Now, the app is compatible with all Microsoft Excel file formats. So even if you upload and open in your Google Drive some Excel spreadsheets, they are readable. They can be read. Um, it can be converted into a Google Sheet um, in the application. No, um, the app or Google Sheet allows users to create and edit files online while collaborating with other users real time. So again, if you are working on a team, perhaps if you belong to the accounting department, no, and you have a certain spreadsheet that you have to work on, and you are separated by land, you are separated by COVID-19. Okay, para walang risk no when you go outside, but you really have to work on this matter in this spreadsheet. Then you can make use of Google Sheets for you to create computations, or for you to do a tabular or cell-based na data or information. If you are a teacher, and you can make use of Google Sheets for your class records, for your grading sheets, no, and then perhaps your team members can see the grades, 'di ba? Gone are the class records, no, na naka-book na, nasa parang book dati. So ngayon merong ano na Google Sheets. So I remember actually when I was in high school ata 'yun. Merong kaming teacher no na nawala niya ang class record sa isang section nila, and it's a grave ano pala no? It's a grave ano bang tawag diyan? A grave happening or a grave incident no na mawala ang class record. Siyempre, of course, how do you base your grades no for your students? What if it's coming summertime na no? Coming na ang vacation, and biglang nawala ang class record, yung book no, class record. So, paano na yan? Paano na re-remedyohan yung mga grades, yung mga scores ng mga students? So, if we migrate into the online, no, or ang mga spreadsheet natin applications and you have backup copies of your files, then um, there's no need for you to worry kung mawala yung paper na material sa class record kasi you have backups. Especially if your backup is something like Google Sheets, no, that they can be accessed anywhere or everywhere. So, kahit na kahit na lumipat ka ng mga devices, papalit-palit ang mga devices mo for as long as you're connected to the internet, then you can access. If hingin kagad ni principal ang grades, you have something to provide kagad, no? What if naiwan mo ang class record sa room nyo? So we have the Google Sheets na pwede nyong ipakita. Now, just like docs and slides, no? We have a machine learning na embedded sa ating Google Sheets using the explore na function which we have already discussed yesterday in our docs and slides na lessons or na discussions. So historically speaking, Google Sheets originated from XL2 Web, a web-based spreadsheet application developed by 2Web Technologies na na-acquire ng Google in 2006. So, nabili ng Google ang XL2 Web in 2006 along with this was also the time when Google Docs and Google Slides were launched. So, back then it was the Google Labs spreadsheets. And then it was launched as a test for a limited number of users on a first come first served basis on June 6, 2006, no? It was in its beta na version. And then around the same time, no, na, an official announcement press release was issued. So in March 2010, Google acquired the online document collaboration companies Docverse. So Docverse allowed multiple user online collaboration on Excel compatible document as well as other Microsoft Office formats such as Word and PowerPoint. So yun ang history ng ating Google Sheets. And now we have the Google Sheets that we use today. So Google Sheets are available in almost all web applications na supported, no? You can open Google Sheets through your Google Chrome, pwede sa Microsoft Edge, wala nang Internet Explorer, no? Naging Microsoft Edge na. Pwedeng sa Mozilla Firefox, or pwede din sa Apple Safari na web browsers, no? Kung naka Mac OS kayo, or iOS, pwede. So, regardless of the architecture, no? Regardless if anong operating system nyo, you can always access and open Google Sheets na files. Okay? So, in terms of collaboration and revision history, no, Google Google Sheets is really the app to be kasi if you compare it with the Microsoft Excel, no, there is no collaboration except if you subscribe for Office 365 and all your team members also subscribe to such, then you can share it with them. But if they are not members of Office 365 or they're not subscribers of such, then chances are you will not be able to easily collaborate with them. And also, there is revision history, no? Later on, I will tell you once we navigate on in using Google Sheets, I will show you how you can easily track changes or how you can easily see if there are changes that were made inside the cells. Okay. So there are also other functionalities, no? There is the simple find and replace tool na available. Meron ding web clipboard, no, that allows you to copy and paste content between Google Sheets and Docs and Google Slides and Drawings. So there is a certain functionality wherein you can easily paste. If you copy um, multimedia or some items or charts from your Google Slides, from your Google Docs, you can easily paste that sa inyong Google Sheets. So okay, let us try navigating, no, our Google Sheet. So once again, you can rename your spreadsheet by clicking on this part, no. Say for example, my first Google Sheets. So the same, parang ano lang din siya, no. Basically para din siyang PowerPoint with all the rows and columns and cells. So an intersection class of a column and a row, no, is called a cell. So this is cell A1, column A and row 1, that is cell A1. I think you already know that. O punta kayo ng cell B3. So alam nyo na kung saan. Column B and um, row 3. So if you could see, it is a simpler interface to as compared to Microsoft Excel, 'di ba? And there are basic toolbars, hindi yung mga madaming ribbons na, no, madaming functions. But generally speaking, the same formula, no, that you have in um, Microsoft Excel are also the same formula na pwedeng magamit sa Google Sheets. So if you use mga functions like if else, if you use functions like sum or average, you can also do that in Google Sheets. So just like in Docs and Slides, no, sa file na tab or sa file na ribbon, um, the same are available, no? Although there is an additional na spreadsheet settings, more or less, ano lang siya, more on the calculation and more on the general specifics like the time zones. Okay, although you can use already the default, no? Kung ano mga default. And then sa edit, this is where you can cut, copy, paste, no? Although the same tools that you use in spreadsheet are also the very same tools na available um, sa dito sa sheets natin. Then there are additional, like you can clear notes, no, and you can delete values. Pwede 'yan. And then sa view naman, dito mo pwede makita pwede nyo i-freeze, no? So say for example, um, you want na i-freeze tong dito sa column B, you can do so sa view. Then you can freeze column, no, up to current column B. So if you would notice, A and B are frozen, no? Hindi siya gumagalaw. So C onwards, dyan na ang hindi na frozen, so only here. So you can do that sa view and then freeze. Okay? So what else? You can see the grid lines. You can also protect ranges, no? Say for example, you want to protect this range, pwede nyo yang i-protect. So no one can edit this certain column or certain cell if you have protected that. Kahit na naka-collaborate kayo, no, you are editing this in your team, but you don't want someone, no, especially if this column is confidential, this is the primary key of this of your database, then that should not be edited. So pwede na you can protect the range. Okay, the formula bar is here, kung saan nyo pwedeng ilagay ang mga formula nyo, but you can do so sa view. Pwede nyo pang i-zoom, pwedeng full screen. So sa insert naman, actually you can insert chart, you can insert images, drawings and forms, pwede yan dito sa Google Sheets. You can insert functions na, no? So, ang dami. Madami. Dito nakalagay lahat sa function ang mga different functions that we have sa Google Sheets. But as what I've mentioned, the very same functions that you have sa spreadsheet can also be accessed here, and they're also read here. Walang function na hindi nababasa dito sa Google Sheets, and there is even an additional function dito sa Sheets, no? Just like you want to translate something from a certain cell, and you want to translate it into English ba or Spanish or Arabic or even Filipino, merong function dyan to translate. So wala yun sa Microsoft Excel, but meron yun dito sa Google Sheets. Okay, so there is actually a lot here. Then you can, sa format naman na tab, this is where you do the formatting, no? Although it is also already available in our toolbar presets, but you can do such sa ating format na menu. Yan. So the data, dito kayong pwedeng maka-create ng filters, yung isort nyo, no? Like alphabetically or descending or ascending order. Pwede yan dito sa ating data. Dito nyo makikita yan. And then, so sa tools, ito na yung mga you can create a form through this. So you can also embed or record macros, no? 'Di ba? You can do such sa Excel. Pwede din yan dito sa Google Sheets. So, once again, kagaya ng slides and docs, no? There's no need for you to hit Control S or file save, kasi in the first place wala namang file save, no? What you do actually instead is just to wait for it, no? For Google to save it, since it is linked to your Google Drive, so cloud-based din ang pag-save, so madali lang ang pag-save. So every changes that you do, it will save. So question, what if biglang mawala ang net, sir? So paano yan? So it will actually prompt, no, na you are connecting or there is no internet connection. So it will disable you, no, from editing or changing. So it will only work once you are connected back to the internet. So dito sa bottom niya, no, this is where you can add your sheet, no, itong may plus. So ayan, once you add a sheet, you can rename it by double clicking on it, or kahit i-right click nyo then rename. So say for example, section class 1 or grade 1 section A. So yan. Tapos dyan nyo ilalagay ang mga names sa mga columns. So pwede yan. The very same principle that you have, no, sa Google, sa Microsoft Excel, are the very same na pwedeng gawin din sa Google Sheets. And then you can say for example, no, ang pinaka gusto kong feature class about Google Sheets is that you can easily show the edit history, no? So say for example, you are working on a collaborative na document or a collaborative na sheet, and nabigla na lang kayo kasi ang mga values, like say for example, may mga values, no, sa column B na nakalagay ganyan daw, tapos nagulat na lang kayo, natulog lang kayo, pagising nyo nawala na. So you want to know who the culprit is. Madali lang siya, class. You just right click on the specific cell and you click on the show edit history. So makikita nyo kung sino ang mga taong nag-change, anong mga changes na ginawa niya So yun, ito ang actually this is the best thing that I like about Google Sheets. It is that you can see the history per cell, no? 'Di ba walang ganito sa Excel na you can see the history for every cell. So so yan. You can see that sa Google Sheets. So um so let me see for a while. Um Maybe we can I can share to you the differences, no, of Excel versus Google Sheets. Sige, so in terms of functionality class, I think Excel wins, no? We could not compare really um, we could not compare Google Sheets with Excel, of course, because Excel has been there for such a long time, and um, it when Google Sheets was launched, it was really miles behind Excel. It was no surprise either. Excel has been around for decades na din eh. And Microsoft has been pushing out regular iterations for longer than I have been alive. But did you know, class, na the lead programmer of Microsoft Excel is a Filipino? So actually, that programmer um, signed into a non-disclosure agreement, no? But since hindi naman ako nakasign sa NDA, so I can share na the lead programmer is actually a Filipino. And that Filipino is back here. I just won't tell you na lang the name. Basta he is a Filipino who was hired by Microsoft to develop and to lead the creation of the Excel. So, you know how talented actually Filipinos are. Um, Although the trouble for Microsoft class is that it didn't take long for Google to catch up. So today, the functionality between Excel and Google Sheets is very similar. Both programs have interfaces that are easy to get um, to grips with, extensive knowledge bases, and a plethora of tools and functions. However, if you need more advanced functions, you'll be working with massive amounts of data. Excel is more suitable. So Google Sheets is well optimized up to a point as your sheet fills with more columns, rows, and tabs of data. Um, Once you add more and more columns, more and more data, it actually slows down, no? Especially if your sheets is shared. No, we I think we are using Google Sheets for with the central office, and other regions and other clusters could the ano kasi the such sheets na file is for follow-ups, no, sa central office namin. And if you could imagine, class, palaging nagahang kasi madaming naga-access. So ang dami na din ang dami ng records or data doon. So you could imagine na as as it progresses, as the number of entries in cells progress, um, um, the bugs also come in, 'di ba? Especially na web-based pa siya. So yun, it slows down the functionality of Google Sheets. But if you need a headache-free experience, no, to access and manage thousands of cells of data, Excel is the winner. But if you just need to create simple spreadsheets with a small selection of commands, Google Sheets is just as good, and you can work with a lot of team members. So Google Sheet is really the deal. Okay, but kung thousands na of database, if you want some logs every day of your if you have 1,000 of 1,000 employees sa inyong company, and you record their log in and log out. I think you can do that much sa Google Sheets kasi mag-hang at it will be burdensome comparing it with Excel, 'di ba? Which can stand through the test of times. But in terms of collaboration, really Google Sheets wins. Although Microsoft is starting to work, no, in a more collaborative experience. Nauna na um, Google in their workspace applications to do such. Okay. Um, Incredible ang sharing settings sa Google Sheets because you have a control over who can see your documents, sinong makaka-view, sino lang makaka-edit, sinong pwedeng maka-comment. Then you can send specific invites, no? You can email or you can create the link or you can copy the link to share. So alternatively, you can create spreadsheets that are available for viewing sa public, no? If you want maybe perhaps a list of winners or a list of whatsoever, and you don't want any edit or comment, then you can share such Google Sheets as view only na sheet. So madali lang. Um, what else pa ba? Um, in terms of cloud and syncing, then perhaps Google Sheets wins again here because it was built on a cloud-based alternative, no, to Microsoft Excel. So if there are updates, if your team members edited, then there are chances that you will be updated or you will get a notification or response if you sync it to Google Drive. Although if you are an Office 365, you can also do such naman. But if you are not a member and you're using older versions of Microsoft Office, then you could not sync that much. Um, well, basically in terms naman of functions and formulas, you can still do the same na you can do or you can create formulas and functions that you do sa sa Excel, wherein you can also do such sa sheets. Although meron ding although there are some formulas that are missing or might be of confusion, but nevertheless Google is quickly catching up in this area. Diba yun nga nasabi ko na even in translating mga words, no, meron ng specific function for that by Google Sheets. In terms of pricing, this is really straightforward because Google Sheets is free. It is completely free to use, while Excel needs one-time payment sa Microsoft Office for the installation plus a subscription to Office 365 to make use fully of the functions. So if your pockets are empty, then Google Sheets is the application to be, 'di ba? Um, so in terms of macros naman, maybe there are some of you are tech, and who really use macros. Um, um, both can use macros. Google Sheets already employ macros, and they even have now a scripting, no? If aside from macros, if you are into Java and into Google scripting, um, aside from macros, you can make use of scripting languages for you to use um, sa inyong Google Sheets. So in terms of macros, you can do both. You can do such in both applications. And also, Google Sheets has a mobile application. So, although it is hard, no, if you use your hands and fingers to navigate, but if kaya naman makontrol, then it comes handy that um, you can access Google Sheets with your mobile phones. Although Microsoft also has, no, meron din naman ang Microsoft, but um, some functionalities are also not supported. So yun. So I won't um I won't take much time for Google Sheets, no, because basically and practically they are the same with Excel. The only key difference is the collaboration, no? The collaborative functionalities and features. Many multiple users can access one Google Sheets document. Um, you can edit together simultaneously. You can discuss through comments, um, through suggestions, no? Whereas Excel, you can do such. So I think that's it for Google Sheets class. And thank you for listening.